All right, now check it out. Now, real talk, I want you to think for a second. When was the last time you actually thought about Roscoe Dash? Now, I'm not talking about when you see his name in passing or you see his name and, in reference to somebody making a comment. I mean, actually sat there and thought about him. You probably haven't. I can bet your bottom dollar that you haven't. And I get it. Life moves fast. New artists pop up every single day and the algorithm spits out whatever it wants. But here's the thing. At one point in time, bro was everywhere. All the way turned up, show out, no hands with Waka Flocka. The 2012 XXL freshman list, he was on the cover sitting next to Future, Macklemore, French Montana, MGK. I mean, right there, those are legends in their own right. He had the mohawk in 2010 that everybody was trying to get. He pioneered that rap sing sound, that melodic hybrid that pretty much the entire new generation of Atlanta built on before it was even a thing. And then he was gone. No big falling out, no crazy scandal, no drug problem making headlines, just gone. So today we're gonna talk about why. Because bro's story is one of the most disrespectful things that the music industry has ever done to a talented person. And the crazy part, most people don't even know the half of it. So let me set the scene for you real quick, because if you was too young to remember this era, you need to understand what I'm talking about. We're talking about between 2010 and 2012. This is the peak snap music transition into trap. Atlanta is running the culture, and right there in the middle of it is this kid from Atlanta with a mohawk and his voice that nobody has heard before. Roscoe Dash was doing something in the music industry that literally nobody else was doing at the time. He was blending singing melodies into rap in a way that felt natural, not forced, not gimmicky. It was just different. He's literally sitting in interviews today saying he was the bridge between the snap era and the melodic era. And he's right. You could draw a straight line from what he was doing in 2010 to what Young Thug, Future, Gunna, all of them are doing right now. And the music was playing well. No hands with Waka Flocka and Wale. That record went diamond. Not platinum, diamond. That means more than 10 million units sold. That record was in every club. White clubs, black clubs, Hispanic clubs, everywhere. At one point in time, he was even with Big Sean and Kanye West when they did the song Marvin Gaye and Chardonnay. He was in the room and watched the Throne was recorded. He was on the 2012 XXL freshman list. At this point, bro was not on the rise. He was in there. Like he was in there. There's nothing you could deny. It was a fact. So how does a guy selling diamond records on the cover of the XXL freshman list 2012 just vanish, just gone? That's the question. And the answer is not pretty. To get a handle on what went down with Roscoe Dash, we gotta go all the way back to the beginning. Because the beginning of the story isn't when Roscoe Dash blew up, it's before anybody even knew his name. So his mom had been working for a company for a long time. When the recession came around, they offered her a choice to get laid off or move to Seattle. So at this point in time, Roscoe Dash just decided he was gonna go ahead and stay in Atlanta while his mom go ahead and take the job out there in Seattle. Now, most people in that situation would have went down the wrong path. A lot of people do. But Roscoe, he chose to stick to the music. He built a little studio in his room, U-Haul blankets on the walls for soundproofing, a microphone with a washcloth and rubber band around it. That's it. That's all he had.
Back to the root, before the Travis Porter stuff, before signing the Interscope, whatever the case may be. It was just me and my mom in the house. We were going through a recession around this time. So my mom got a job offer. She was with this company for a long period of time or whatever the case may be. And they offered her a situation where it was either we're going to have to lay you off because we're downsizing, or you can go out here to Seattle and go work. That left me in the house by myself. This is where I got to really turn the music up and wasn't getting told to turn the shit down. You know what I'm saying? So I got to really cut up and kind of like grow up a little bit on my own. And that's when I made Turned Up. I put up some U-Haul blankets in the room in there and wrapped a microphone with a washcloth and a rubber band or whatever, and I got to it. I figured it out. You know what I'm saying? So I think I went on after that, probably maybe a few months after that. I had Turned Up probably in the first 6 months of that setup right there. But I knew I had a hit, so I just sat on it for a while. I used to go to the clubs, Lavish Lounge, Texano, Mariachi Mondays, Belushi, all that stuff. I used to go pull up when I was nobody.
And in that little studio, alone in his house, with no record deal, no money, no help, he recorded all the way Turned Up. Bro knew he had a hit. He knew he had to get down to them clubs though. Lavish Lounge, all of them. Just trying to get the DJs to play his record. But at the time, he was a nobody, so they wouldn't even give him the time of day. But bro didn't just stop there. He got in the studio with some real people. He linked up with Travis Porter through his cousin, got Soulja Boy on the remix, and within 45 minutes of the song being uploaded on YouTube, record labels was blowing this man's phone down. You would think at this point the world would be opening up for this kid, but that's exactly what went wrong. Bro was only 18 years old. He was hungry, he was excited. He didn't have anyone in his corner, any real representation, any real lawyer, and the people that saw the most of him always wasn't the ones that had the best interest in his heart. Well, this is something that a lot of people don't know. When All the Way Turned Up first came out, Roscoe Dash wasn't even credited as Roscoe Dash. It came out as Travis Porter featuring ATL. That was him. That was his name. It wasn't even his own song. Well, from day one of Roscoe Dash's career, someone else had been getting credit for his work. That has always been the case ever since. That's been the case for the next 16 years of his life. His manager at the time, let's call him Boom Man. Boom Man saw the opportunity. Money was on the table, offers was coming in from all these labels from all different directions, and Boom Man worked up a contract. See, Roscoe said it was supposed to be a simple contract. It was supposed to be a very simple 20% contract. That's it. That's the way it works. Well, that's the way it was supposed to be. Well, in the contract that Roscoe Dash signed when he was 18 years old, with a lawyer not explaining it to him very well, Boom Man also required Roscoe Dash's administrative rights and also his publishing rights. Now let's make sure y'all understand what that means. When you have admin rights and publishing rights to someone else's work, you essentially own the commercial value of everything they do. You can go out and make deals in their name and likeness without even having to tell them. You can collect checks from their music and decide whether it gets put out or not. You own them on paper. Roscoe signed that when he was 18. He didn't know what he was giving away until years later. At that one moment, that one contract, that one signature, 18 years old, ended up in a contract cage that trapped him for the next decade and a half. And then to make things worse, Boom Man turned around and sold Roscoe Dash's contract to a furnishing company without even telling him. Roscoe found out in the recording booth. He went into the studio to say, hey, let's shoot a video for this new song. And his manager hit him like, oh yeah, we don't handle that no more. We sold your contract to so-and-so.
And you had the opportunity to do good business and you didn't do it.
Wow.
You feel me? So I went my separate way. Now it's the Travis Porter beat because I have to set the record straight. Insert Boom Man. Okay? Boom Man called me back after a trip that me and Travis Porter took to Valdosta. I used to go to Valdosta all the time to work with KE.
Valdosta from Atlanta?
Yes. 4-hour drive in a Honda in the fishbowl. Yeah.
See-through?
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah, this the blood, sweat, and tears that they talk about right here. You know what I'm saying? So Boom Man gets a whiff of what we're doing in the studio. He sees where the creative juices are coming from or whatever the case may be. So he makes a phone call. He's like, I want you to come back down and come just work with KE solo. Boom. So I come and do that. At that particular time was in the height of Travis Porter versus Roscoe Dash. Who's turned up is, you know what I'm saying, whatever. Whose song is it? So Boom Man's like, let's go create another version of the song with KE. Insert KE into the mix. KE reproduces the song. We give Vibe his credits. Boom Man hits me with, as soon as we got the Soulja Boy verse, which KE made happen, KE made that phone call from Turn Your Swag On. Within like 45 minutes of us putting it on YouTube, the labels were calling. And so Boom's like, nobody's gonna talk to me about a deal or none of that stuff unless we sign some paperwork or whatever the case may be. In that paperwork, which is supposed to be just some simple management, 20% standard, whatever, he ended up acquiring my admin rights and my publishing rights in that same deal.
Pause. Just tell me how old you were during this time before.
I had to be 18, barely.
Okay, keep going.
All right, so follow me here. Good.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so fast forward to the Interscope situation, because we initially had a deal on the table with Def Jam, but Def Jam didn't want to sign me because it was so much going on around whose record it was, to the point where Core DJs was like, we're not supporting this version with Soulja Boy, and we're only supporting the Travis Porter version based off of their stake and whatever they had in their brand. You know what I'm saying? So, and the story that they're being told about how it happened or me doing this or that. Boom. So, in the midst of me signing my deal with Interscope, we inserted another furnishing company, right? I ain't gonna say their name just because I'm still working on that.
We still at the negotiating.
Yeah, okay, so they end up furnishing me the Interscope within like maybe a 3 to 6 month span of me having that Interscope deal, which is right around the time when Show Out came out and we were shooting Show Out. Boom Man, out of whatever spiteful act he wanted to do, sold my contract to the furnishing company. I didn't even know this. What? Yeah, I found out in the recording booth when I came to say, hey, yo, I want to shoot Summertime Swerving off Demolition 2020. I want to shoot a video for it. I'll go half on you. Let's just figure it out or whatever. He's like, oh yeah, we don't handle that no more. We sold your contract to so-and-so. Now they got my admin rights, publishing, all kind of stuff like that. So I'm just giving y'all the paper trail on
how
why
we get to this point.
You feel me? So once I got a whiff of that, I tried to work it out. I had a 5 minimum due 2 contract. And so I was on my second album at this time. This is like right after Ready, Set, Go, which had All the Way Turned Up, Sexy Girl Anthem, and Show Out on it. We're going into the Juice EP, right? And I'm doing like 2 mixtapes, Dash Effect with DJ Drama. I'm doing all the stuff I need to be doing in the streets to get the gangster grills, to get the height up to where we can put out another album. I get met at the airport with a contract that basically is like, we're gonna insert another management company, and we're also, after you submit these records, we're gonna cut. Let's say if I had to submit 18 records, I submitted those 18, I gave you 20. You put out 7 because 7 is an EP, not an LP, which doesn't constitute as an album. So now you get to give me half a credit and keep me in my deal. You see what I'm saying? And also milk my publishing for all these new records that I just put out. You see what I'm saying? So like, it's really just been
a double dipping.
It's always been a double dip situation. And then here we are 16 years later, 17 years later, Cam.
In the booth. That's how he found out his future had been sold. But the contract thing isn't even the most disrespectful part of the story. What really gets me is how many times he's blessed people with his talent and then they act like he wasn't even in the room. Okay, so let's talk about Lotus Flower Bomb for a second. If you don't know the song, it's Wale featuring Miguel. It's a super smooth R&B rap song that got a lot of play when it first came out. It's a beautiful song, but here's the thing most people don't know about it. So after No Hands came out, Wale got dropped from Interscope. He was in between contracts and didn't know what was going on. Roscoe reached out and said, just come to the studio, don't worry about a budget, don't worry about a contract. Just come pull up. They recorded Lotus Flower Bomb in Roscoe's own studio. Roscoe contributed to the making of that record. He wrote the hook, he set the whole tone. Then Roscoe embarked on his promo tour. He let Wale do what he needed to do with the record. He trusted his brother. Fast forward, Roscoe's sitting alone in a radio station while he is on tour. The DJ left the room, then the radio started playing music. Wale featuring Miguel, Lotus Flower Bomb. Now that was the first time he heard the record. Not from his friend calling him about it, not from seeing it drop online, from a random radio station just listening. Like, hold on, I know that ain't what I think it is. and his name was not even on the record. He had to fight to even get writing credits for the song. Like, imagine that. The song was done in your own studio, at your house. You wrote the chorus, everything to it, and you don't get no credits for it? You know how disrespectful that is? And then he went to the ASCAP Awards later, and Miguel came up to him like, yo, I love your stuff, we should work together. And then Miguel turned right back around and told Complex Magazine he didn't know who Roscoe Dash was. It had nothing to do with the record.
After a while, man, you just get tired of showing up and not getting like any type of reciprocity from that. You know what I mean? And yeah, it was one of them type of moments. For the Miguel and Wale situation, that came from the Lotus Flower Bomb record. So I helped put together that record, for lack of better words. And then the record came out later on, and it had Miguel on it. And then I ended up seeing Miguel like at the ASCAP Awards or something like that. And he was like, yo, I love your stuff. We'd love to get together and write and, you know, put some records together or whatever. And then the next thing I seen was a Complex interview with him saying he didn't know who I was or that I didn't have nothing to do with the record. And I'm just like, well, you know, you didn't write the whole song. You only wrote this small little part right here. Everything else you sung was somebody else doing it.
Well,
so,
what did you write?
The hook of the song. I'm living in a fantasy. I feel it when you dance with me. Isn't it like you need to be? Oh, baby, oh, baby. Cause I don't know you and you don't know me. Clock keeps ticking, baby. What's it gonna be? All that
How
shit.
did this happen?
This was like around the time, and Wale don't get mad at me for telling this story, man. Damn.
He a crash out.
Nah, but he's just.
Yeah, that's my boy. I see
my dog. I love my brother, bro. I promise I do.
Wale.
Nah, I love my brother, bro. I do. And I love people for who they are. You know what I'm saying? He's just passionate about shit, bro. He's been done wrong too, bro, to keep it a bean.
And that's where I even asked him, I'm sorry but to make that whole, I was like, Wale, I think you have been miscategorized
100% since inception,
as an artist.
Nah, he's a generational talent,
Bro, this project that he put out.
He had to show y'all. I texted him and said, remind him. Yeah, like do that, bro.
But there's nobody that does what Wale can do, but we're always comparing Wale to what other people do.
There you go.
And that's why I'm like, yo, like, and just like any other artist, like Erykah Badu say, I'm sensitive about my stuff. And there's no wrong way to feel that way. So the crash out was
a little unwarranted, but it's cool though. Yeah, it's cool. It's all right. We cleaned it up. Like, it's all right.
He's still a crash out.
He ain't gonna go take it right back to this.
Nah, but I'm saying like,
I fuck with it though. I see what you're saying.
Cool.
Yeah, he just, you know.
It was just how, you know how you say, don't worry about it. Keep going.
All right, so let me tell the story about this. So this happened, and I think he recently told this story too, so I'm just gonna piggyback on what he said. Like, after the No Hands record, probably like in the same week, and this was so baffling to me, dog. Interscope ended up letting him go. I actually didn't even know he was signed to Interscope at the time. I just knew that he was signed, and he had the stuff that he had prior to that record. You know what I mean? But they ended up cutting ties with him. Whatever happened. I immediately just got on the phone with him. He put the record out first. A lot of people don't know that. He's one of the first people to put the record out on More About Nothing.
No Hands?
Yeah, it was called Guilty Pleasure or something on his project. But he's one of the first people to put it out back when Twitter was super popping. He was like one of the main catalysts for Twitter, like to just help, you know what I'm saying, move the needle for our culture and shit. And I hit him up and I was like, bro, come to the studio. Just come to the studio. He was like, I'm in between deals. I don't know, all this other shit. I'm like, just come to the studio, bro. Don't worry about the budget or the thing, none of that shit. Just pull up. So we did a few records. Lotus Flower Bomb was one of those records that we did. We brought in Sam. Shout out to Sam from Cloud Eater. He's pretty sure he's from DC, correct me if I'm wrong, but he's a generational talent as well that helped on Sabotage that eventually had Lloyd on it. He was the original person on there too. So we got him to come in and vocalize for us and do the vocals for it. At this point, I wasn't like singing Roscoe like I am now. You know what I'm saying? So I had somebody else come in and do it. But yeah, we cut the record then. Jaron Howard produced it. That was a producer that I had some beats from that was just sitting, and I was like, this will be perfect. And we just put it together and made it happen. Now the problem came in where when I went on promo tour shortly after that, I let Wale take the record, do whatever he was gonna do. We brothers, I wasn't tripping on, you know what I'm saying, do whatever you need to do. He told me about the Ross situation being on the table. I told him it would be a great idea because he was standing like a sore thumb over there. Ross, okay. The Maybach situation. So I ended up going to DC, making a stop in DC on a promo tour or something. I'm sitting in a radio station and the song come on. Like the lady goes to go to the bathroom or do something, and I'm sitting in the room by myself, and they're playing the recording of the show or whatever for the radio station, and it come on, brand new Wale featuring Miguel, Lotus Flower Bomb. Boom, the song come on. That's the first time I fucking heard the song since we cut it in the studio.
What?
So I'm like, what the fuck, bro? Yeah, so that's what made me mad, because I'm like, damn, bro, I was here when you was in between shit trying to figure it out or whatever. I'm trying to be, support for that. We brothers. I'm trying to make sure my brother's straight. You know what I'm saying? So why did the record come out and you then did all this stuff to the record? It's cool to be creative and do what need to be done, but why are you not telling me? Why don't I have no credits on the song? Why didn't I have? And we literally recorded it in my studio. That's crazy.
How? Now what?
It's straight now. We fixed it. Yeah, it's good.
How?
They had to give me the credit on the song.
Oh, so you now do have the credit. Okay.
And then there's Kanye. Roscoe was in a room during the Watch the Throne era, making trips, building relationships, contributing creatively. He helped put together what became the world of Cruel Summer, no credit. And then Kanye did an interview hyping all the people he worked with on the project and never once mentioned Roscoe.
Yeah, had to get that.
How many times you gonna get burned to realize that you ain't fireproof?
Yeah, basically, yeah. So same thing with the Ye situation. So I went out to go watch work on Watch the Throne, and we ended up making Cruel Summer that had him and R. Kelly on it. That ended up, we ended up making To the World. I'm sorry.
To the World.
Yeah, that was on Cruel Summer. Came out on the latter project or whatever. And I wasn't credited for it at all. And to be honest with you, the thing that really triggered me in that particular moment, it was like a interview or something he did prior to Cruel Summer coming out, or in between Watch the Throne and Cruel Summer, where he was talking about all the people who he had worked with. And I didn't see none of them when I was there.
Roscoe said something in an interview that I think about a lot when it comes to this. He said if it's not credited, it didn't happen. And you're not getting paid. He got 3 daughters. He's taking time away from his family to go contribute to some of the biggest records of that era. And it's like those contributions just evaporated. And now, here's where it just get plain sad and crazy. You see, it's not just that Roscoe was taken advantage of, it's that every time he tried to fight back, the system fought right back against him. He tried to fight back on his own, he tried to put out mixtapes, he kept making music, he kept performing, and he started to make a comeback with the project Futuristic Summer with Metro Boomin. The records were selling, the man was making noise. And that's exactly when the people who had control of his admin rights came back to take control again. As soon as he started making some noise, like he about to overcome everything and just, get back on top of the world and actually become successful again, suddenly they want 100% of his writer's shares. They told this man, give us all your catalog rights to all your diamond records and we'll give you your admin rights back.
They make sure you don't get it.
Yes.
They're gonna make sure you don't ever get it. You see what I'm saying? So like, now I guess what we would call it is the algorithm. Like your algorithm is gonna get railroaded, or you're only gonna have a certain amount of reach. So
it's gonna be muzzled, capped.
You feel what I'm saying? Okay, so when I'm putting out all these other records, it's not a problem. Insert Futuristic Summer, okay? Right. Roscoe come out, he got 7 songs on the project, everything's vibing, and we bringing back the old sound or whatever. Now, it's like, oh no, we're not letting you out of.
Futuristic Summer is the project with Metro Boomin.
Yes.
Correct.
Shout out to Metro. But yeah, so now it's an issue. So you get what I'm saying? It's about this. It's about the reach that I'm having. Now that I have an opportunity to be back mainstream and to get this type of look, now y'all are gonna come back and say, oh, we want 100% of your writer shares to be able to give you your admin rights back. So you want me to give you my diamond certified records, you want me to give you all these records that I did for all these people to have the right after 16 years now of you double dipping, I ain't never got a publishing check or none of that stuff. And I gotta basically sell my soul to be free to be able to put out this type of music that the world love.
Bro has gone 16 years. 16 years without getting a single publishing check. Not one. Since he was 18 years old. Never had a real job in his life. Just shows and whatever royalty showed up. That's it. So what does he do? He drops a 72 song, one project. 72. Just to get headlines. Just to make some type of noise that the algorithm just cannot ignore. To have the largest single project drop in urban music history. Just to get somebody to talk about him. Now that's not an artist doing what he wants. That's an artist just trying to survive. And the internet being what it is, someone decided to write a story claiming Roscoe was driving Uber. He had to go on the record to actually clarify that it was a friend using his Uber, using his car, but by then the damage was done to his image already. It was already out there. But here's the thing that I keep thinking about whenever I think about Roscoe Dash, and it's important. They took his publishing, they sold his contract without telling him, they blocked his releases, they left his name off records he created, they tried to erase him, but none of it worked. Not really. No Hands is still on pace to go diamond twice, maybe 3 times. That's 20 or 30 million units sold on one single record. The track he did on Futuristic Summer with Metro Boomin, they already gold and platinum. The sound he pioneered, that melodic sing rap hybrid he was doing at 16, 17 years old in Atlanta, that is modern hip hop. The entire generation that came after him built on that foundation. He said they leave him out of Atlanta's sound documentaries, and that might be one of the most disrespectful things of all, because bro was doing it first. Consider the 2012 XXL freshman list. Future, Macklemore, French Montana, MGK, Kevin Gates. Each and every single one of these artists went on to become mainstream. Each and every single one of these artists went on to receive label support. They had the rollout, the machine behind them. Roscoe was on that same cover. He had the same talent, if not more. But the contracts, the bad deals, the people who sold him out when he was 18, that's the only thing that kept his path away from theirs, if not bigger. And the thing that gets me, he's not even bitter about it. Not in the way you think anyway. He was sitting in interviews talking about his daughters, talking about his purpose, talking about how every bad situation prepared him for the next one. Talking about how faith and fear can't occupy the same space and faith was running the show for him now. That level of peace after everything you've been through, that's not weakness. That's one of the strongest things I've ever seen. Roscoe Dash didn't disappear because he wasn't good enough. He disappeared because the industry trapped a talented 18-year-old in paperwork he didn't understand. And then spent the next 16 years making sure the door stayed shut every time he tried to get back in. That's the real story. And that's why I had to make this video, man. I had to give that man Roscoe Dash his flowers while he here. Let that man know, bro, you a legend. You a legend, man. You pioneered that sound, dog. The music industry did Roscoe Dash dirty. The people around Roscoe Dash did him dirty. But despite that, despite 16 years of just fighting to even get his music out, he kept making music. That's what he loved to do. But I want to know what y'all think. Drop down in the comments, let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think Roscoe Dash was done dirty? Where y'all rank him at on the pioneers, like the Mount Rushmore of Atlanta? Like, what do y'all think about that? Let me know what you think down in the comments down below. I can make about 3 videos on Roscoe Dash because bro is a legend in the game. And I think he's definitely uncredited and definitely need to give his flowers while you're here. But hey man, if you're watching this video right now, you're new to the channel, go ahead and join the family. I really appreciate you watching. Go ahead, smash that subscribe button for your boy. Go ahead, drop down the comments, hit that like button, turn that notification bell on. And I'm gonna catch y'all in the next episode. Peace. And we out.